Good afternoon, all of you. Okay, okay. Today we'll discuss about the physiology of a human. Okay, in that chapter 17, that is the breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, in this we'll have some introduction to different respiratory organs, and next mechanism of breathing in case of human, and next exchange of gases, how the exchange of gases occur in the lungs and in the tissues, and next the transport of gases from lungs to the tissues, and from tissues to the different part, okay, to the heart, and finally lungs where exchange of gases occur. And next regulation of respiration, how the respiration rate, depending upon the condition of the organism, the rate of respiration is regulated, how the regulation of respiration will occur. And next disorders of respiratory system, and some of the disorders related to the respiratory system, okay, that one we'll discuss, okay, in this chapter. Okay, first we'll go with some introduction to this breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, as you have read earlier, oxygen is utilized by the organisms. Oxygen is utilized by the organisms to indirectly break down simple molecules like glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, etc., to derive energy from various activities. Okay, while okay, we have discussed in detail while we are discussing about the respiration in plants, the cellular respiration. Okay, some of the respiratory substrates, okay, in the cytoplasm and mitochondria of the cell, okay, will undergo breakdown in the presence of oxygen to yield energy. Okay, so the oxygen is required for the cellular respiration. Okay, this oxygen which is required for a cellular respiration has to be brought from the lungs. Okay, has to be brought from a lungs to the different parts of the body. Okay, and the same time the carbon dioxide which is harmful is also released during the above catalytic reactions. So the oxygen is utilized during the cellular respiration, and carbon dioxide is released during the carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration, and this carbon dioxide is considered as a harmful, so it need to be released outside the body. So it is therefore evident that oxygen has to be continuously provided to the cells, and the carbon dioxide produced by the cells have to be released outside. So whatever, okay, that means the oxygen which is required for the cellular respiration has to be continuously supplied to the cells to undergo cellular respiration, and at the same time the carbon dioxide which is produced during this cellular respiration has to be sent outside or has to be released outside from, okay. So all this, okay, and this process of exchange of oxygen from the atmosphere with the carbon dioxide produced by the cells is called breathing, commonly known as respiration. Okay, that is, so that means the oxygen has to be continuously supplied to the cells, and at the same time the carbon dioxide that is released by the cells has to be continuously has to be released continuously, has to be released outside. So this process of exchange of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and with the carbon dioxide produced by the cells is called as the breathing, and this is commonly called as respiration. Okay, this process we are commonly called as a respiration. Okay, and place your hands on your chest. Okay, you can feel that chest moving up and down. Okay, place your hands on your chest, you can feel the chest moving up and down. Okay, you know that it is due to breathing. Okay, when you place your hand on the chest, you can observe that there is a movement of the chest upward and downward. Okay, this movement of the chest is with regard to the breathing process that is taking place in the organisms. Okay, that is, and you can you can feel the breathing. How do we breathe? Okay, the rest, okay, that is that means different organisms will breathe in different ways. The respiratory organs and the mechanism of breathing are described in the following sections of this chapter. That means, okay, here we'll discuss about the different types of respiratory organs and the mechanism of breathing, okay, are described in the following sections of this chapter. Okay, that is, okay, first we'll discuss about some of the respiratory organs that are observed in the animals for the breathing or exchange of gases. Okay, that is mechanisms. Okay, mechanisms of breathing vary among different groups of animals depending mainly on their habitats and the levels of organization. Okay, while we are discussing about respiration in plants, we have discussed very clearly in plants there are no specialized organs or structures for respiratory gases exchange, because the structures which are involved in the exchange of gases for photosynthesis, those structures will itself only, okay, okay, anybody is having any doubt, you can ask now.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay, when you observe the respiration in plants, okay, we have discussed very clearly there are no specialized structures or organs for respiration in plants, that is for breathing, for exchange of gases in plants. Whatever the structures that are helpful in the exchange of gases for photosynthesis, the same structures are only useful for the exchange of gases for respiration also. And there are no special structures to transport the respiratory gases to different parts of the body also. Why? Because okay, whatever the cells that are that require this respiratory gases, okay, those are in direct contact with the atmosphere in one way or other way. Okay, so that, okay, the oxygen or the respiratory gases are can easily get exchanged with those structures as they are in direct contact with the environment. Okay, that is, and most of their living cells are present in the superficial layers of the plant, so that's why they doesn't need any special structures or organs for respiration and okay, respiration, transport, and exchange of gases. But when it comes to, okay, but in animals it is a different way. Okay, that's why, okay, okay, that's why they need some specialized organs for a okay, for exchange of gases as well as for the transport of gases. So that's why we'll find different mechanisms of breathing are observed in the different groups of animals depending upon mainly on their habitats and the levels of organization. That means okay, based upon the based upon the mechanism, the mechanism of exchange of gases and the type of respiratory organs, okay, in animals vary depending upon mainly on the habitat. That means the place where the organism lives and the levels of organization, because in animals we'll find different levels of organization. Okay, we'll find a cellular level, tissue level, and organ system level of organization. So depending upon the organ, okay, levels of organization and the habitat, okay, based upon that we'll find a different mechanism of breathing. So when you observe the lower animals, lower invertebrates like sponges, coelenterate, flatworms, etc., exchange oxygen with the carbon dioxide by simple diffusion over their entire body surface. Over their entire body surface. Okay, when you observe the lower invertebrates, okay, for example, if we take sponges, coelentrates, or flatworms, okay, these are the lower level organization containing organisms, and all the cells are in direct contact with the environment. So that's why in these organisms the mechanism of respiration occurs by simple way. The mechanism of respiration occurs by simple way, that is by simple diffusion. By simple diffusion, the oxygen, because the okay, as these are mostly the aquatic organisms, okay, the concentration of oxygen will be more in the environment when compared to the body of the organism. So the oxygen diffuses into the body, and next the okay, when compared to the environment, the carbon dioxide concentration will be more in the body of the organism, because
Sir, what is
continuously the cells will undergo cellular respiration and they produce carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide concentration is gradually increasing in the cells or in the organism's body, and the carbon dioxide concentration will be low in the water. So that's why carbon dioxide continuously diffuses out of the cell into the water or environment. Okay, because of the difference in their concentration, or because of the concentration gradient is there. So based on that, the oxygen will enter into the body and the carbon dioxide is sent outside the body. And this process we call it as a simple diffusion, because here the transport of substance or exchange of gases is occurring according to the concentration gradient. Okay, that's why this transportation from higher concentration to lower concentration we call it as a diffusion, and it occurs by, okay, that's why Esma, okay.
Sir, what is the respiratory unit for small sponges and coelenterate, sir?
The cells here, no units ma, okay, all the cells are in direct contact with the environment, and the exchange of gases will occur directly from cell to environment. There are
Okay,
no
sir.
special structures. That's what he is saying. Lower invertebrates like sponges, coelentrates, flatworms, etc., exchange oxygen with carbon dioxide by simple diffusion over their entire body surface. The total body surface can act as a respiratory organ. The total, all the cells, because they are simple organisms, and all the cells, okay, are in direct contact with the environment. So the exchange of gases or respiratory gases can occur directly by simple diffusion. That's why we don't find, that's why we are saying these are simple organisms with a simple method of respiration.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now. Okay, but when it comes to higher organisms, slowly the level of organization is increased. As a result, the organs of respiration are also varying. Okay, that one we'll discuss now. Okay, earthworms. Okay, when you observe the earthworms are having, starting from earthworms, we'll find organ and organ system level of organization. Starting from Aschelmans, okay, that is okay. When you observe the Aschelmans, Aschelmans are endoparasites and they are mostly anaerobic organisms. Okay, most of the Aschelmans, while we are studying about animal kingdom, we come across as the Aschelmans are, most of the Aschelmans are endoparasites. They lead anaerobic respiration. Okay, they live in the absence of oxygen. Okay, that's why we are not discussing about okay, Aschelmans. So the earthworms, the next group of organism, that is annelids, that is the
Sir,
earthworms. Okay,
Aster can live without oxygen, sir.
what ma?
Sir, you told which cannot live without oxygen, sir.
Okay, which cannot live, which live without, okay, that means Aschelmans are anaerobic organisms because they live inside the body of another organism. They are, as they are endoparasites, they live in the intestine where oxygen levels are very low, and that, so they adapted to that anaerobic type of respiration.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now, so that's what we can see here. So earthworms use their moist cuticle. So that means here for the first time we are observing some specialized structure which is involved in performing the respiration process or breath exchange of gases. That is the moist cuticle, that is the skin. Okay, the moist skin. Okay, the moist skin will act as a respiratory organ. So here what happens means, the moist is whatever the oxygen that is present in the atmosphere first dissolves in the moist skin, and the skin is richly supplied with the blood capillaries. So okay, the blood vessels, okay, the blood which is carried by these blood vessels can absorb, okay, can absorb oxygen from that moist skin, okay, by diffusion process, and finally the blood will transport this oxygen to the different parts of the body. Okay, now, so that means the part of the skin which is moist in condition can only helps in the exchange of respiratory gases. Okay, the part of the skin, or the part of the skin which is in moist condition can only helps in the exchange of gases, can only helps in the exchange of gases. So here the moist cuticle or the moist skin in case of earthworms is acting as a respiratory and helps in the exchange of respiratory gases. The oxygen will enter into the cell and the carbon dioxide is sent outside. So such a type of respiration we call it as a cutaneous respiration. If the respiration occurs by the skin, okay, if the respiration occurs by the skin, then such a type of respiration we are calling it as a cutaneous respiration. Okay, there is. And next, in some organisms, okay, like insects, the next one, that is arthropoda. Annelida we have completed, and next we'll go with arthropoda. When you observe the arthropoda, especially, okay, the arthropoda is okay, the arthropoda is the major group of organisms that is included under arthropoda is insects. When you observe the insects, the insects have a network of tubes. Okay, that means in insects, we'll find some specialized structures called, okay, structures which are in the form of a tube. Okay, these are called trachea. Okay, these tube-like structures which are present in insects, we are calling it as a trachea. Okay, so these are called tracheal tubes. Okay, to transport atmospheric air within the body. What this okay, what this tracheal tubes will do means, okay, these tracheal tubes will carry the atmospheric air directly from the environment into the body, and they live at the organs or tissues that are present in our body, okay, in the body of the insect. So what are the structures that help in the exchange of gases means the trachea, okay, are called trachea. Okay, the tracheal tubes, the tracheal tubes are involved in carrying the atmospheric air directly towards the tissues, okay, towards the tissues. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay now, okay, and these okay, and these tubes are having some openings. Those openings we call it as spiracles. Okay, the
Okay, sir.
spiracles are the openings of the trachea through which the air from the atmosphere will enter into this tracheal tube, and through this tracheal tube they are transported to the inner parts of the body. Set. Okay, so such a type of such a type of respiratory system we call it as a tracheal system. Tracheal system, it is observed in insects. Okay, it is observed in insects. Okay, now that is. And next, okay, that is such a type of, okay, if the trachea are involved in the exchange of gases, then such a type of tracheal system we are calling it as okay, such a type of respiratory system we are calling it as a tracheal system. Okay, okay, if the respiration is occurred through skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration. It is observed in earthworm. Okay, if the respiration is occurred through tube-like structures called trachea, then such a type of system we are calling it as a tracheal system. Okay, tracheal system of respiration. And next, it is observed in case of insects. Okay, and next another type, that is okay, in case of fishes. Okay, we'll observe some special vascularized structures called gills. Okay, 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 special vascularized structures called gills are used by most of the aquatic arthropods and mollusks, whereas vascularized bags called lungs. Okay, that is in case of fishes, aquatic arthropods, and in mollusk, we'll find some specialized specialized vascularized structures called gills. Okay, specialized vascularized structures called gills. If the respiration occurs through gills, then such a type of respiration we call it as a branchial respiration. Okay, it is observed in fishes, mollusks, and in some aquatic arthropods. Okay, that is, and in some organisms. Okay, the respiration occurs through a vascularized bags. Okay, these vascularized bags we call it as vascularized means which are richly supplied with the blood capillaries. Okay, which are richly supplied with the blood capillaries. Okay, such structures we are calling it as lungs. And such a type of respiration we are calling it as a pulmonary respiration. Okay, this pulmonary respiration is observed by the Okay, terrestrial organisms. Most of the terrestrial organisms, okay, that is amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. In all these organisms, what are the respiratory organs means? The lungs. Okay, such a type of respiration we are calling it as a pulmonary respiration. Okay, that is okay. So that is okay. The vascular here the term vascularized means which are richly supplied with blood capillaries, richly supplied with blood capillaries or blood vessels. That's why we are using the term vascularized. So all the structures which are helpful in a respiration, okay, all those structures, first and foremost thing you have to remember is that they must be fully vascularized. That means they must be fully supplied with blood vessels or blood capillaries. Then only they can help exchange of gases. So if you take the skin, or if you take the gills, or if you take the lungs, all these body parts are fully supplied with the blood vessels. Okay, because the blood is involved in the exchange of gases and they will later transport to the different parts of the body. Okay, but when you observe the insects, where we'll find the tracheal respiration, tracheal system of respiration. Okay, as the blood is not involved in the transport of respiratory gases. Okay, because they do not have any respiratory pigment. Okay, for the transport of gases. That's why they have developed this tracheal system, which can transport the respiratory gases directly to the tissues and also outside. Okay, the oxygen to the tissues and the carbon dioxide to the outside. Okay, because in case of insects, we don't find the respiratory pigment in the blood. So the blood has no role in the transport of respiratory gases. But now, okay, but they are involved in the transport of nutrients and other substances. But that is not involved in the transport of respiratory gases. Why? Because due to the absence of the respiratory pigment. Okay, that's why they have developed some special mechanism, okay, through which they can transport the oxygen directly to the tissues, and it occurs by the tube-like structures called a trachea. Okay, but in other organisms, we'll find the respiratory pigment in the blood, and the blood is involved in the transport of the respiratory gases. So these organisms, there are some specialized structures, okay, to which this there is a rich supply of blood vessels, and the exchange of gases will occur only in those regions only. For example, if you take earthworm, the skin is involved in respiration. That's why the skin is richly supplied with blood capillaries. And if you take the fishes, the gills are richly supplied with the blood capillaries. And in case of terrestrial,
Vascularized, sir.
vascularized, yes, richly supplied with, that is the okay, the other okay in okay, the meaning of vascularized means richly supplied with blood capillaries. Okay, the vascularized, vascular, okay, okay, here the okay, vascular means that is the blood vessels. Okay, that is they are richly supplied. Okay, the lungs, gills, skin, where are the organs that are helping in respiration, they are all richly supplied with the blood vessels. Then only they can help in the exchange of gases. Okay, that is. And next, when you coming to the vertebrates, among vertebrates, fishes use gills because they are completely aquatic. So they use gills for respiration, whereas amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals respire through lungs. Okay, and among amphibians, okay, they are that term in itself is indicating amphibian, that is it lives both in land and water. So amphibians like frogs can respire through their moist skin, that is called cutaneous respiration. Okay, that amphibians like frogs, okay, they can respire along with the lungs. They can also respire with the moist skin also. Okay, the respiration is occurred through moist skin. A type of respiration we are calling it as a cutaneous respiration. Okay, such a respiration we are calling it as a cutaneous respiration.